This happened one summer when I was around 12 years old. Most of the kids in my neighborhood went off to summer camp every year, but my parents always gave me the choice, and that summer I decided to stay home. It sounded great at first, until I realized there was basically nobody around and I had way too much time on my hands. I was really into shows like Cops back then, and I think watching that stuff gave me this childish idea that every neighborhood had people who seemed completely normal, but were secretly doing something illegal behind closed doors. Obviously, most of that was just an overactive 12-year-old imagination, but with my friends away at camp, I spent a lot of time watching the neighborhood and wondering what people were actually doing inside their houses. There was one house directly next door that always fascinated me. My friend Paul and I called it the Mystery House. Basically our little play on the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. I know, not exactly the most creative name, but we were kids. The funny thing is, that house actually did have a history. When I was around 10, the place caught fire. I remember standing outside with my family, watching firefighters surround it, and later hearing that some teenage boys living there had apparently been burning pennies or doing something equally stupid. Eventually that family moved out, and a couple of years later, a few men and one woman moved in. I didn't pay much attention to them at first. What I did notice were the 6 little pit bull puppies they had running around their backyard. There was this one little runt that seemed particularly interested in me. He'd come up to the steel fence separating our yards and stare at me. And if I ran back and forth, he'd chase me from the other side. I was 12, so obviously I thought this was hilarious. And it became this little thing we'd do whenever he was outside. Over the next few months, things around that house started getting weird. Police showed up more often, I noticed dog cages in their cars, and the puppies gradually disappeared until only the little runt was left. By then, he'd gotten much bigger, and one afternoon, I saw one of the men working with him in the yard. At first, I assumed he was training the dog, but pretty quickly I realized he was deliberately trying to make him angry. He'd shove him around, hit him with things, and keep irritating him until the dog tried to bite. I didn't understand why he was doing it, but even at 12, I knew it wasn't normal. Over time, that dog's personality completely changed. Whenever they left him outside, he'd charge the fence snarling and barking at anyone who got close. And eventually, even I stopped going near him. Our fence was old, and one section toward the back sagged pretty badly into our yard. One afternoon, my mom was trimming the bushes near it when the dog charged her and started forcing his way through. Thankfully, she had pepper spray and managed to stop him before he got into our yard. But after that, we became genuinely concerned about the fence. Then, a few weeks later, the dog actually got out. I wasn't outside when it happened, but apparently a woman was walking her dog down our street when he attacked them. I don't remember how badly either of them was hurt, but I remember police showing up afterward, and within a few days animal control was at the house. I watched them carry several dogs out, which shocked me because I thought only one remained. Some had obvious wounds and bite marks, and eventually I saw a couple of the neighbors brought outside in handcuffs. I never found out exactly what happened to those people. I just know they never came back, and neither did the dogs. Now that I'm older, I can't say for certain what was happening in that house, but between the cages, disappearing puppies, injured dogs, and what I personally saw, I think it's reasonable to assume they were involved in dog fighting. The saddest part is that I still remember that little dog before any of it. Before he was snarling at people and trying to get through our fence, he was just this pudgy puppy that used to chase me back and forth through the yard. I never blamed him for what he became. I remember what he was like before they made him that way.